I'm going to show you how to rewire your brain for success to achieve anything you want. These principles are what brought me from broke to selling a company for $110 million and retiring in just 6 years. And if you're not where you want to be in life, it's probably because you are missing one of these 3 things. But how do you actually rewire your brain for success? What do the world's most successful people know that you don't? The most successful people in the world all follow the same 3 principles, and this video will walk you through them all. So if you watch any personal development or business videos, every video says the same thing. Set a goal, have a clear purpose. If we're all just setting goals, why don't we all have our dream life? Well, there's a pretty critical missing step in actually achieving what you want beyond just setting a goal. You see, every rich person in the world has a goal, has a clear purpose in life, but they do something differently. They don't just pursue the goal that they want. They relentlessly say no to everything they don't want. They are masters of focusing on their goal and just driving towards it, almost like a horse with those blinders on where you can't see what's left and right. So you just stay in your lane and you stay focused. And in today's age, this is probably more important than ever, because let's face it, the number of distractions in our life are exponentially increasing every single year. Whether it's social media, the news, your iPhone, your computer, everything is trying to get your attention. And they certainly have a plan for the way you will spend your time, resources, and money. Buy this thing, go to this event. So how do you get it back? All of these things are designed to suck away your most precious resources, which are your time and your energy. You know, I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast the other day with The Rock, and something incredible happened. Joe is a huge Tesla fan, so he was talking about the Cybertruck and the new prototypes that are rolling out and, you know, just how cool the Cybertruck is. And The Rock goes, "What's a Cybertruck?" I loved this moment because The Rock on this podcast admits he only drives pickup trucks, and the Cybertruck is supposed to be the next great, pickup truck. People are certainly mixed, but it's making a lot of headlines right now as Elon's driving these prototypes around. And yet The Rock has no idea what the heck a Cybertruck is. And the Cybertruck's been out for a handful of years. But this just shows you the level of horse blinder focus that someone playing at the top level has. The Rock has made hundreds of millions of dollars in the last few years by being relentlessly focused on what he's good at and removing all of the distractions. So if you want to actually make that work for your life, here is a very simple distraction detox protocol that you can put into your life today. All we're going to do is eliminate 2 sources of major distractions that have the highest likelihood to derail you from your path. And that is, first, the news, and second, social media. You see, the news is constantly thinking of what can they do to grab your attention. They are literally paid on clicks, views, and watch time. Social media kind of has the same thing, and it's an algorithm doing it. So both of these forces, news and social media, are literally designed to sap away your time and energy. And if you haven't experienced what it's like to wake up and focus on your own thoughts, to breathe, just the sense of peace and relaxation, knowing that day is focused on your goals, not the distractions of the world, then what I highly recommend is do this distraction detox for 30 days. No news, no social media. Delete the apps, block the websites on your computer, do whatever you need to do, but go cold turkey on this for 30 days. It's not that long in the grand scheme of things, but you will find so much energy and so much focus and progress on the goals you're looking for if you just do this distraction detox. But there's another step you need to do to actually make this sink into your life and move you forward. You see, if you've ever set a New Year's resolution, you know that in the early stage of the new year, you set this goal, you have so much vision, so much passion for your goal, but how many people actually achieve your New Year's resolutions? Did you? I didn't. It happens every year. We set these goals and we don't achieve them. And that's because we're missing this next step. And this next step is actually going to take advantage of a neurological principle that will basically make it automatic for you to move towards your goals and actually achieve them. Let me explain it with a simple analogy. Have you ever had that experience where your family buys like a purple minivan or something and you're like, oh my gosh, this car is hideous. I've never seen anything like this. But then the next thing you know, when you're driving around town, you can't help but see all these new purple minivans, just like the car that your family bought. What changed? Were there more purple minivans all of a sudden bought just because your family bought one? No, of course not. What's actually happened is your brain is using what's called the Reticular Activation system to hone in on things that matter to your life. And since you just bought this purple minivan, it now says, hey, I'm going to look for other purple minivans. There they are, there they are, there they are. And all of a sudden you see them. This phenomenon is actually a defense mechanism. Like if you think about it, just look around your room. Look at how many things there are. Could you actually close your eyes and count the number of, say, brown items in the room or the number of red items in the room? No way. But what are the chances that your brain has actually seen them? Very, very high. If you looked around the room, your brain has had time to look at all the different brown or red things in the room, but what it's done is it's just discarded them. It said, not useful, don't need that information right now, don't need to remember that, don't need to focus on that. And so it's constantly filtering all the inputs into your life and then choosing what is useful from you right now. And if it's not useful, the brain just discards it. Gone, completely forgotten. Here's how this applies to your life. If you want to actually achieve something, you need to train your brain so that when there is an opportunity, an input, an opening that could actually get you closer to your goal, your brain latches on it. And the only way you're going to do that is by constantly reminding your brain, hey, here's what we're actually focusing on. Here is what is important. Here's where we're trying to go. And so the reason you're failing when you set goals generally is because you only set them once. As time goes on, your brain kind of forgets about them. It's not the driving force of your life. And so as a result, there are things that could help you achieve your goals, but your brain just filters them out. It says, now we're too busy focusing on what's for lunch, that bad meeting with my manager, so on and so forth. So if you want to actually get your brain on your side and have it constantly working towards achieving your goals, you need to activate your reticular activation system. So a simple way to actually activate this system and make your brain work for you is to take either your goals or your life purpose, whatever you've written down as what you want in life, and put it in 4 places. The first is your phone background, so that every time you open your phone, you will see what it is that you're working towards, and it will be a reminder and a cue for your brain, hey, look for things that can move me towards this. The second is setting the name of your alarm as your goal or your life purpose, so that when your alarm goes off and you have to click snooze or hopefully just stop and get up out of bed, you're seeing that goal again. The third place that I really like is the bathroom mirror. Just take a sticky note, stick it on, so that in the morning, at night, before you go to bed, you are seeing that goal, reminding yourself. And the fourth place is just on your monitor. If you have a laptop like me, you can put it on the corner, or if you have an actual monitor, you can put it right under your monitor, either as a sticky note or as like a post-it card. Every day at the startup, I always had a post-it card right underneath my monitor, reminding me what I was working on, what I was looking to achieve, and why I was there. It really will take you through the lows and make your highs so much higher because you know you're actually working towards a life that you love. So now we've unlocked 2 of these 3 steps. We've got a clear purpose for our life, and we're making sure that our brain is focusing on our clear purpose at all times of the day. But there's a big problem, and there's something that will hold you back in this process if you do not actively attack it, and that's the 3rd step. You see, the problem is your brain is experiencing your reality as it is today. So you may have on your goal list, you want to be a millionaire, you want to travel the world, you want to fly private, but your brain says, hey stupid, wake up, look around. You live in a crappy house, you're not in a job that you love, you only fly, basic economy. Let's be real, get serious here. And your brain literally fights against you. It will remind you, you are here today. Where do you think you are dreaming of this other destination? That's not realistic. And so if we're going to make any progress on our goals, we need to overcome our brain's own tendency to remind us that we're not supposed to do it. And the way you do this is you actually need to trick your brain into believing that today you are living that life that you dream of in the future. And now I know this sounds really woo-woo-y and complicated. Trust me, Andrew Huberman actually just did a podcast on this. It is like the neurological best way to set goals and believe that you can achieve them. What you're going to do is write out all the things that this future version of you would do. Where would they shop? What kind of home do they live in? What kind of car do they drive? How do they spend their time? Figure out what are the different attributes of this future version of you that you're trying to become. What does it actually look like? Make it very concrete. And then what I want you to do is just take one day, one afternoon, go out and live that life. Go experience it. And you don't have to spend any money. But I want you to put yourself in the circumstances, in the rooms, in the conversations that this future version of you might have. So your brain can start to associate it as possible and reality. And to make this more concrete, I'll tell you exactly what I did when I was starting Prodigy, my startup. I went and I wrote down everything I wanted, and I came up with 3 very specific things. First, I wanted to drive a supercar. So I went to a Ferrari dealership and I didn't test drive them. They wouldn't let me, but I looked at them. I opened the doors, I checked them out, I talked to the salesperson about the price and the monthly payment as if I was a serious buyer, just to sort of get that feeling of what it would be like to actually shop for a supercar one day. And then I went to the Burberry store in San Francisco and I tried on all these amazing clothes. I tried on, the suits, the jackets, the button-ups. And because I was trying on so much, one of the personal concierge came over, like the personal shopper, and they helped me pick out all these different things. And it was just so cool. I think I tried on $4,000 or $5,000 of clothes just to sort of experience what it was like to put on those clothes, because one of my dreams was I wanted to dress super well. And then the third thing I did right around the corner from the Burberry store is I went to a super high-end secondhand watch store. One of those stores where you don't even walk in. You go up, you ring the doorbell, and big door swings open, a massive security guard says, "How can I help you?" And you say, "Oh, I just wanted to come in and shop for some watches." And they say, "Okay." They let you in, and then they lock the door behind you because they know it's serious business in there. I was so intimidated when I went in there, but I tried to, keep my cool and be like, "Hey, this is Silicon Valley." Told them I'm a San Francisco startup founder, and they were like, "Okay, we'll show you around." They actually let me try on some of the watches, and one of the watches was this AP that I tried on, not this exact one, but just trying those on and feeling what it was like to live this dream life. And now, obviously I'm able to make these things a reality. But even before I could afford these things, I was putting myself in the scenarios to convince my brain, hey, we can do this. This could be our future. And by just putting myself in those circumstances, you start to believe it's possible, and your brain starts to say, hey, let's go for it. So now there's just one thing you need to do, and I would consider this sort of a fourth bonus step. It's not a mental thing. You've got to put your feet in front of each other and start walking towards your goal. If you just sit around and wish life was great, wish life had all these things, nothing changes. You need to create what's called a massive action plan. And a massive action plan just has 3 simple steps. First, identify exactly where you are. Where are you on the journey of where you are and your goals? If you want to be 170 pounds and you're 190 pounds, great. You need to lose 20 pounds. Identify the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Second thing, look at that gap and say, what are the activities that I need to be doing regularly to close the gap in this area of my life? Do I need to be going to the gym? Do I need to be eating more fruits and vegetables? Do I need to be having more high protein meals? Whatever it is for your life, identify the activities that you need to take to move your life forward, and then just actually do those things. This isn't some woo-woo overcomplicated thing. Find the gap, schedule it in, and if you have already done the 3 steps I listed before, if you wired your brain to take care of the mental side of this, the actual tactical side of moving towards your goals and achieving them, it's much, much easier. Now, if you want to take this even a step farther and just not only change a couple things, but reinvent your entire life and your entire identity, I also filmed a video, how to reinvent yourself in 30 days. I'll put the link over there. Hope it helps.